Hello, my name is Jade and welcome to this Maximo Fitness foam roller workout video. We're going to go ahead and get started on the lower body. If you have any injuries in your wrists or anywhere in the body, you're just really being mindful, using the breath and working out through the body. We're going to go ahead and get started with the glutes. I'm using my Maximo Fitness 45 centimeter foam roller. If you don't have a Maximo Fitness one, it's absolutely fine. Just make sure you have your foam roller. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started foam rolling our glutes. But before we start, we're going to just warm up those wrists. So if you just take your right palm out in front of you, fingertips facing down to the floor, and just bring your left palm, apply a little bit of pressure so you can feel that stretch into your forearm. And you can smile through that stretch. And then bring your fingertips up to the ceiling. Again, apply a little bit of pressure, just feel that stretch. And then opposite palm, again, fingertips down, just feel that stretch. Again, we put quite a lot of pressure onto our palms when we foam roll, so just making sure they're nice and warm and there's no kind of tension. Then fingertips up, and again, just press, feel that stretch. Go nice, give those hands a little shake. And then we're going to go ahead and get started on the glutes. So we're just going to slowly come onto the foam roller. Again, you're just going to gently bring your bottom up onto that foam roller and just ground those feet down so they're kind of hip width apart. Fingertips. If you have any wrist issues, take the palms facing behind you. And if you are okay on the wrists, you can have the fingertips facing in towards you. Again, it's a personal preference, so just noticing what feels best for the body. And again, you can just slowly start to roll onto those glutes. In fact, I'm going to turn my hands that way because that's more comfortable. You can straighten one leg, and you can work more on that right glute. And you can just rotate through the leg. You can just feel that stretch and that gentle little bit of pressure applied to your right glute. And again, the breath is really important as we foam roll. Really starting to breathe and just be present in the body and just softening there through the glutes. And if you find that little area of kind of tension that you might just want to hold onto, you can hold. Again, just making sure you're not applying too much pressure. And then grounding that right foot down, coming onto the left glute, again applying a little bit of pressure and just nice and slowly rolling. And keeping that breath nice and soft, nice and smooth. And you can go ahead and get onto the side. So coming onto your Glute Max, again, you might just want to slowly come onto the right one first. So again, you're coming onto that side, right onto the hip, and coming down onto your forearm. Keeping the foot nice and flexed, just nice and slowly rolling. Again, just noticing any areas of tension or any areas that you might need to stay on top of. And again, just taking it nice and slow, using that breath and just releasing any of that fascia. Lovely. Take 2 more breaths here. You might just want to hold. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side. So just gently coming onto your knees. Bring in the Maximo Fitness foam roller onto the other side. Then again, you can either stay on your hand for this one or maybe come down onto your foam roller, onto your forearm. And again, keep that left leg nice and straight, just nice and slowly rolling into those glutes. I just find a nice little tight area there, so I'm just going to hold there and breathe into that. And again, just be mindful if you have any injuries or any injuries into your glutes, then just be careful as you're foam rolling. Again, take it nice and slow. You don't want to go too hard on that area, just gently massaging into that fascia. Good, 30 more seconds on this side. Again, breathing, just gently rolling. And then slowly coming back onto your knees. Hopefully those glutes should feel a little bit more released. We're now going to go onto the calves. So from here, again, just having your foam roller out in front of you. We're going to do the right calf first. So with the calf, you can have that left knee nice and bent and just nice and slowly, again, fingertips either facing towards your bottom or away. And you can keep the bottom on the floor as you nice and slowly just roll back and forth on that calf. Or you can start to lift the bottom a little bit higher, apply a little bit more pressure. And right now I've got my foot flexed, but you can point it if you want. You You'll feel it a little bit more there as you roll through that fascia. And just make sure you don't come onto any bone. You want to stay on that kind of fleshy part. So you might want to come onto the side. Again, this is a really nice one for runners, just to release that fascia in the calf. And you might just want to flex the foot, and you might just want to hold there. You can probably tell from my face that I'm feeling that. And then slowly want to come onto the inside, and again, just nice and slowly rolling back and forth. Good, nice. Spent quite a long time on that right one. We're going to come onto the left side, so again, just ground that right foot down. And again, bring that foam roller underneath that calf. And again, start with the bottom down, just gently start to roll back and forth, just notice how that feels. Using that breath. This one doesn't feel as tight. Again, just checking in to see how the other side feels for you. And then you might just start to lift the sit bones a little bit higher. And again, working onto the inner calf. And you might just point those toes. And you might find that sweet spot that you just want to stop and hold. And then coming onto the outer calf. Again, keep smiling as you roll. Sometimes when we feel a little bit of pain, as long as it's not too much, you kind of grit the teeth, you just want to kind of smile and softly breathe. Good, nice release. And just give those wrists a little bit of a shake if you need to. Maybe a little bit of a stretch out. And then we're going to slowly start to come onto the hamstring. So again, we're going to do the right one first. You want to bring that foam roller under your hamstring, under your right one. Again, keep the foot flexed for now. Use the fingertips, press them into the floor, and just slowly start to roll back and forth on that hamstring. And again, foam rolling really is an individual thing. It's really a personal thing. So starting to notice what feels good for your body. If you find any areas that feel a little bit too much, you might just want to ease off. You might want to take a little break. And just slowly breathing, moving that leg around. You might find it more comfortable with the foot flexed, or you might want to start to point that foot. Good, so we're just working that back of the hamstring. We're slowly soon going to come onto the inner thigh as well. Just take a few more breaths on this right side. Good, nice, then release. Come back down, give those hands a little shake if you need to. And then just remove the foam roller onto the left-hand side. Again, keep that right foot nice and grounded. And nice and slowly just rocking back and forth. So you're just feeling that release into that left hamstring. Again, if you feel super strong today, you might want to take it up a little notch. You might want to cross your right leg over, apply a little bit more pressure. Again, this one's not for everyone, so if you try it and you find it's too much and you can't breathe, you might just want to ground that foot back to the floor. Good, just take 2 more breaths. Lovely, then slowly coming off and then just gently coming back onto your mat. Just give those hands a little shake. Again, just notice how they feel. Let's move on to the hip flexors. Now the hip flexors are a little bit of a different when you foam roll. So just bring that foam roller onto the mat. You're going to slowly come down onto your forearms. And you're going to slowly start to bring that foam roller just onto your hip flexor. Now you're going to feel kind of a dull pain. So you might want to bring it a little bit out to the side. So we're going to work on the right one first. And as you bring that foam roller again just above your quad, right onto that hip flexor, it's kind of in fact, I'm just going to show you. So as you bring your legs down to the mat, if you bring your legs out straight, if you bring your peace fingers into the hip crease, if you just rotate the toes out, you're going to feel that kind of pop. That's your hip flexor. That's where you want to bring that foam roller. So you just rotate through those legs, you'll find that kind of little pop. And then that's where we're going to bring that foam roller. Now you'll know when you bring the foam roller there because it'll be a kind of a pain. And you might make a few faces, it's absolutely fine. So as I bring that foam roller, yeah, it's there. So I'm just going to hold there. Again, you might not want to roll. You might want to. You might want to take it nice and slow. Again, it's kind of that dull pain, so just breathing, smiling. You might want to bend that knee, work a little bit into the hamstring and just release. And again, really important to use that breath. Good, nice. 2 more breaths here. Lovely, and then just start using your palms, press back. And you might want to just take it into a little child's pose. You just feel that release into your right hip flexor. And I can already feel it in the right side. The left side feels quite tight. And slowly coming back. We're going to go onto the left hip flexor. So again, just bringing that foam roller onto the left side of your mat. Coming down onto your forearms. And nice and slowly, just getting that foam roller in position. Again, right onto that left hip flexor. Might take a little bit of wiggling around. But as soon as you find that kind of dull pain, you're just going to hold there. Again, if you're feeling that you want to roll it, you can. You might want to bend that right knee. You might want to straighten that right leg, then bend the left one, apply a little bit more pressure. Again, really important to use that breath. Keep smiling. If you want to take it a little bit further, you might want to progress it and push it into your palms. Again, this one's not for everyone, so just noticing how it feels onto the body. Use the breath. If you're experiencing any pinching in the lower back, you might want to come down, maybe just to one forearm, that might be quite nice. Again, slowly breathing and just rolling into that hip flexor. Good, 2 more breaths. Good, and slowly release. From there, just take it maybe into child's pose, just release through the hip flexors. You might even want to use that foam roller. Maybe just bring the wrist and just roll it out. Feel a nice stretch into your shoulders. And then nice and slowly, you're going to start to come onto the inner thighs. So I'm going to do the right one first. You want to bring that foam roll on kind of a 45-degree angle. I'm going to keep that left leg nice and straight. Come down onto your left forearm and just slowly bend through your right knee and bring your inner thigh onto that foam roller. Again, we're going to start on the forearms, just nice and slowly holding there. You might want to flex through that right foot as we slowly just start to roll out. Again, it takes a little bit of time to get it in that right position, so just noticing what feels good, where you're feeling it, and just gently start to roll. Good, so rolling away, so rolling down towards the knee and gently rolling it back up. You might want to point through those toes, you might just want to hold. You might need to apply a little bit more pressure. Good, just take 3 more breaths here, nice and slow. Good. Nice and slowly start to come off of that right side. We're going to go onto the right quad before we do the other hip flexor. So you're going to bring that foam roller, again, back lengthways, and then nice and slowly coming down onto your forearms. From there, as you slowly come forwards, you're just going to bring it above the knee. So you want to make sure you don't want to go onto the knee. You want to kind of stay away from that knee region and just nice and slowly bend that right knee and just gently rock back and forth. Again, so we're just starting above that knee region, kind of rolling there. Then you might want to take it a little bit further up to the top of your quad. Again, you might want to come onto the palms, feel it a little bit more. You might find that spot that you just want to hold. You might find bending that knee too much. You might want to release it and keep it nice and straight. As you press the toes down to the floor, you can also feel the stretch into your calf and your ankle. Good, nice release. And again, just notice how that right leg feels. Hopefully it feels nice and soft into your quad and into your hip flexor. We're going to go onto the inner thigh onto the left side. So I'm just going to come on this side so you guys can see. Again, put it down 45 degrees. Then just straighten your right leg, come down onto your right forearm. You want to bend that left knee. And then from there, just gently rolling on that inner thigh. Good, making sure we're using that breath. Again, breath is really key to releasing that fascia and just staying present there in your body. Good, nice, maybe just holding if it feels good. And then coming back up. Lovely, nice and slowly. We're gonna go onto that quad. So from there, just bringing that foam roller, bringing it lengthways. Again, keep that right leg nice and straight. And then from there, just bending your left knee, come down onto your forearms. So we're just working on that left quad. So right now I'm at the top of the quad, just nice and slowly working my way down to that kind of knee region. You might want to maybe press one palm into the floor. You might find that's too much. Maybe just stay on the forearms. You might want to add a little bend there into that knee. So you're just releasing through that hamstring and just really working that left quad. And foam rolling really is for the individual. So if you find this is too much, you maybe just want to release that left leg. You might want to come up and just move the foam roller a little bit lower down. So again, you're just working on that midsection of the quad. And if you're finding this isn't enough, you might want to use your palms, press into the floor. And again, just bend that leg a little bit more, putting a little bit more pressure onto that left side of the body. Again, a really nice thing to do pre or post workout. Just take a few more breaths. Lovely, and then coming back. And then just taking a seat. Let's go ahead and let's roll out that ITBand. So we're gonna start on the right-hand side. So just bringing your foam roller onto your mat. Nice and slowly bring your right palm down to the floor. You're gonna use that left knee, you're just gonna bend it. You're gonna straighten that right leg. Again, just positioning that foam roller so it's just below your hip. You might wanna start on your forearm, just nice and slowly, starting at the top, and then working your way down. And if you find that's not enough for you, you might wanna come maybe onto your palm, and just nice and slowly rolling on that ITBand. Again, it's quite a tender area, so just take it nice and slow. You can see my legs shaking a little bit, so you might want to ease off. You might want to come down onto that forearm. Again, the nice thing about this foam roller is you're in control of it, so if it does feel too much, you can always ease off the pressure, or maybe just come off of it, take a few moments. And then just working a little bit lower. Again, staying away from that knee region. Just taking it nice and slow. You can use that left foot, apply a little bit more pressure. Good, nice, 2 more breaths. Lovely, then coming off. We're gonna go onto the other side. So just gently bringing that foam roller onto the other side. Again, the left side here. So starting down, you're gonna bend that right knee. Just bring that foam roller underneath your left hip. Then coming down onto your left forearm. You're gonna keep that left leg nice and straight. Just starting at the top and slowly working your way down. And if you find maybe rolling the ITBand's not for you, just take a moment, maybe just come down onto your mat. If you find you want a little bit more, add a little bit more pressure, pushing the palms down and slowly rolling. Again, really staying away from that knee region. Just take 2 more breaths. Lovely. And then nice and slowly coming off of that foam roller. And just taking a few moments, maybe giving those wrists, again, a little stretch out, maybe a little shake. And then we're gonna go ahead and go onto the top, the front of the shins. So using your foam roller, you're gonna come into tabletop position. As you come through tabletop, just moving that foam roller back. Bring your hands down, spreading into your fingertips. From there, you're just going to lift those knees up and then just bring the bottom, just below the knees onto the foam roller. And then just moving those hands a little bit further forwards. Nice and slowly, just rolling down the top of those shins. And again, it should feel really nice onto those shins. You might want to point those toes. It's not too comfortable with flexed toes, so keep them nice and pointed. And if it's too much into the wrists, you might want to maybe come down onto the forearms. Good, you can even rest those knees down. Take a few moments, just feel that natural kind of curve there into the tops of the feet. And then maybe push back into the palms and then just slide it back a few more times. You might even come through a full plank. You might keep it slightly bent. So as you're releasing your shins, you're putting a little bit of strain there, a little bit of stress through the arms. So just noticing how the arms feel. Take 2 more breaths. Lovely, drop down to the knees and just gently removing that foam roller. Maybe take it back into a child's pose just to release. Notice how the hip flexors are feeling, the shins. So again, just coming through this child's pose, feel that release into the tops of the quads. Feel that release into the hip flexors. And just feel that release there into the tops of the feet and the shins. Lovely, then slowly coming back up. We're now going to work on the upper body, so if you want to come with me down onto your mats, again just using that foam roller behind you. We're going to start with the shoulders and the lats, so just bringing that foam roller up to the top. You just need to adjust that foam roller. So from there you're going to take your arms up, you're going to bring your hands either into a prayer or maybe clasping your palms together. And just start nice and slow, keep the bottom on the floor as you slowly roll up. And then just nice and slowly come back down. And just being careful of the neck, making sure it's not pinching. Just using those feet so they're grounded underneath the hips. So the feet are grounded underneath the knees. And just take it nice and slow. Again, releasing when you need to if it's too much onto the neck. You might find you want to release those arms. You might want to bend through the elbows. And just nice and slowly rolling down. And rolling back up. Again, using that breath when you need to, dropping the tailbone back down to the floor, and then just nice and slowly grounding the feet, and then nice and slowly lifting the sit bones again, rolling down, and then rolling back up. Again, you might want to use those hands just to support the back of the head. So again, you're not kind of causing too much tension or stress through the back of the neck. Just dropping your chin towards your chest, and just really feeling that gentle release there into your shoulders. Good, nice slowly release, coming back down onto your bottom, using those hands just to gently press up. So we're going to go ahead and start with our triceps here. So as you lie down onto your side, your right hip, we're going to work the right tricep. So nice and slowly, just rolling that foam roller onto that right tricep. Keep that right arm nice and straight for now. You might want to splay through the fingertips. And just releasing. You might just want to slightly bend through that arm. Just notice how that feels. You might find that spot that you just want to rotate that arm and bring it back up. And then nice and slowly, just keep rolling on that right side. Then coming onto the outer edge and back to the center. Good, nice, 2 more breaths. Lovely, slowly release. Coming back up, we're going to go onto the left tricep. So again, just switching over sides, just bringing that foam roller down. Coming onto your left hip. Again, really just to double check if you want the knees bent or straighten them. Then just reaching your left arm over that foam roller, reaching out with the fingertips. Splay through those fingertips, use that right palm as you push down. Just nice and slowly rolling onto that left tricep. Again, on both sides, it's going to feel different. You might need to readjust. Again, you might want to bend that arm. You might want to keep the fingertips splay. I'm not flexing my muscles. Keep breathing here, softening. And then again, you might want to rotate through that arm, through that shoulder. Get 2 more breaths on this side. Lovely, then slowly coming down. I'm going to go onto the right bicep here. So as you bring that foam roller down, I'm going to bring it off of my mat just so I can really start to roll. And then I'm coming down onto my front. Again, I'm going to use my left forearm coming down to the floor. And nice and slowly, just coming onto the inside of that bicep, you might want to rotate through the arm. Using that left palm, you might want to press it into the floor as you gently roll out, coming in towards the shoulder, and rolling down towards the arm. Again, try and keep that palm nice and relaxed. Nice and slowly rolling, using that breath. And you might want to slightly rotate through that palm. And you might find that kind of sticky part that you just want to hold onto. And just taking 3 more breaths, nice and slowly. Lovely, final one. Coming back up. From there, we're going to come onto the other bicep, so the left side. So I'm just going to bring the foam roller onto this side. Again, nice and slowly lying down onto your front. Make sure your foam roller doesn't roll away. And again, from there, just bringing your left bicep down onto that foam roller. Maybe use your forearm there to help you. Just nice and slowly rolling in. You might want to hold there for a few moments. And then slowly moving it and rolling all the way down. And there's always that option as well to bend that arm if it feels good. If not, just keep it nice and straight, keep it nice and relaxed. Nice, and then release. Lovely, coming all the way back up. Take it nice and slow. We're going to go ahead and we're going to work on the lats, then we're going to move on to the thoracic spine. Let's go ahead with the right lat first. So just bringing your foam roller down 45 degrees. You're going to slowly lie back onto your mat. And just take it nice and slow as you lie back. So you're just using that right side. And again, trying to get it in that right position, just noticing what feels good for you. So it's on that 45-degree angle. You might want to bend that right leg, apply a little bit of pressure. You might just want to hold there. You might just want to slowly rock and roll it from side to side. Again, you might want to bend both knees, apply a little bit more pressure. Just watching your neck, making sure it's not kind of too cranking through the neck or kind of stiff. And just take it nice and slow as you're rolling out to that right side. Again, once you find that spot that you might want to hold, just take a few moments, breathe there. And then gently roll it back. Take 3 more breaths here. Again, come down onto your glutes, onto your sit bones if you need to. And then slowly release. Use your fingertips pressing all the way back up. I'm going to go onto the left side, so I'm just going to swing my body round so you can see. Again, you're bringing it down on that 45-degree angle, just slowly lying back onto that foam roller. Again, you're going to bend through that elbow, and just nice and slowly grounding that right foot down, lifting your sit bones, you're just slowly rolling back, and then rolling. And again, it might take a little bit of time to wiggle around, maybe moving that foam roller just so you can get it in the right place. And just really starting to check in, making sure you're present, noticing how it feels on your body. If anything doesn't feel good, then just slowly coming out. And then when you're ready, nice and slowly releasing. Good, nice. We're going to stay on our sit bones here and just bring that foam roller underneath your spine. Just lifting, engaging that core slightly, lifting those sit bones. Then you're just going to rotate, so we're going to drop down to the right hand side. Just notice how that feels, applying a little bit of pressure to that right side. Then coming back, grounding the feet down. Then coming over to the left hand side. Go back through the center, maybe just one more time each side. And just noticing how that feels into the spine. Then bringing those sit bones back down to the floor. Pressing into the fingertips, slowly coming back. I'm going to start at the top. We're just going to roll that thoracic spine now. When you roll your spine, because you are rolling on bone, just be mindful, notice how it feels. If it feels too much, again, just coming back out and maybe just taking a seat. Take it nice and slow, don't apply too much pressure. Again, sometimes when we think of rolling, we think of really kind of going hard, rolling back and forth, applying lots of pressure. But you might just want to keep your palms down to the floor. And nice and slowly working your way down to the lower spine. You don't want to come down to the lower spine. And then rolling all the way back up. You might want to lift your arms up. Just feeling it into the shoulders again, the lats. And then rolling all the way down. Lovely. When you need to, drop the sit bones down if you need to. Maybe bring the feet a little bit closer. And just take 2 more rolls. And you might just want to hold, maybe drop the head down. Maybe it feels good to drop the tailbone down. And then slowly rolling back. Bring the bottom down. Use the fingertips coming back up. And just noticing how the body's feeling, how you're feeling. You might feel kind of a little bit gazed, just kind of noticing how the body feels and drinking lots of water just to rehydrate the body. Thank you so much for tuning in and letting me guide you through this Maximo Fitness foam roller video.